All right, so let's talk a little bit about what happens if for some reason you have to replace the steering wheel. As turns out, I need to. Now, we don't need to go into all of the details around why, and the same thing, I won't ask you. We don't need judgment. We're just talking about what happens. Somehow, some way, you've got to replace your old steering wheel with a new steering wheel. Well, first you got to get one, which I got mine on good old AliExpress. Didn't take that long to get it. Here in Arizona, I was able to avoid the clog in the Suez Canal with the shipping containers. And so that's step one. So step two, you notice this little piece just pops right off there. And there are 4 bolts that need to be loosened to remove the steering wheel. So you just need to use the hex tool that came with the Ninebot. Now, I'm actually not going to be using the tool that came with it because it may or may not be related to the reason I have to replace this steering wheel in the first place. We don't have to get into all that. But essentially, you just use the tool and slowly start to loosen each one so that you can then replace. And this is going to be boring. So let me pause here. All right, so we have the good old steering wheel off. And as in case you're curious and see what that looks like, it's a mounting bracket there. And one of the things you'll notice about the old steering wheels, there is a metal bracket that is sitting inside of there that you need to take out. And if you look at the new steering wheel, of course it also has this little cover to take off. That bracket was not included. So you'll have to remember that you want to take that metal bracket from the old steering wheel and put that on the new one. If you don't have that, you might have sort of a loose fitting. So good thing is I got my bolts that I didn't lose as I removed them. And now it's just a matter of mounting it back on. All right, so you get these bolts nice and snug. You definitely don't want this steering wheel coming off. Just give it a little twist, make sure it's working, and there we go. We are back in business. And so the last thing is to apply the cover. I don't have one of those speedometers that people are adding. Because first of all, it's kilometers per hour, not miles per hour like what we're used to in the US. So I have 2 choices here. I have the original one, which says Ninebot, but it also has some sort of warning message. And then I have the one that came with the replacement. And so, who needs a warning? We all know what we're doing, right? So let's just go ahead and pop on. And there we go. And we are back in business. Now, those folks who aren't necessarily mechanically inclined, I can't even fix a flat on my bicycle. And yet I somehow managed to replace the steering wheel. So if you have an issue and you need to replace it, it's really not that hard to do.